Here's the conversation. If interest rates continue to go up, my payment's going to go up. If interest rates go down, it will cause competition, so my payments are going to go up. So why wait to buy? This is the conversation that buyers are having. Hi, I'm Jessica Mattern, and today we have a special guest, my husband, Brad Mattern. Say hi.
Hi.
So Brad is my husband and business partner, and you just joined me in the business only a couple years after I got started.
I wouldn't say I just joined you, but yes, it's been 5 years.
Yes. And he's going to be joining me today to talk about an article that we had the pleasure of being interviewed for in the Dallas Morning News recently. And the article was about, is now a good time to sell your house? And even though the article is pretty time specific, we want to talk about general factors that you can look for in determining whether it's a good time to sell your house. Now, I want to say, and you can help me out here, but it is impossible to time the market. It's just not possible. Whenever you're selling your house, you're probably buying in the same market. So whenever you sell your house at a great time, it's not a good time to also buy, unless you're just completely moving markets and it's a totally different market wherever that place is, right?
Well, with regards to, can you time the market? I mean, the only real market you can time is the one that you're in. So the market is always a moving target. We've seen that for the last 4 or 5 years. And I would say now, maybe more so in 2023, we're probably trending more towards the market of 2019. Whereas in 2020 through 2022, we saw those epic meteoric rises in property values and multiple offers and bidding, and some buyers call them the bidding wars. We've slowed down a little bit as far as, seeing the crazy multiple offer situations, but where we're at right now is we still have low inventory. And what does low inventory mean? Well, low inventory is a seller's market. Balanced market is 6 months. Anything higher than 6 months is a buyer's market. Anything lower than 6 months is considered a seller's market. So where are we at in the DFW area right now? Well, for Collin, Denton, and Dallas counties right now, on average, we're looking at 2.3 months. So while there is an uptick as far as what the market looks like, as far as month supply of inventory over previous years, has the market slowed down like you might see in media reports? Sure. Is it a crazy slowdown? Has the market totally changed? Not necessarily. So, when we were at the peak of the market in 2021 and 2022, we were seeing less than 2 weeks of inventory in certain markets, like Plano, for example, Frisco, even parts of Prosper, North Dallas, etc. So to go from 2 weeks of inventory to 2.5 months of inventory, that's a lot. With that said, in the grand scheme of things, it's not very much. So, that's where we're at as far as the market is with regards to inventory.
Right, and where we are today.
Yeah.
So let's go over some of the questions that the reporter asked us. And then I want to kind of talk about not necessarily what's happening with the market today, but would these be good signals or signifiers to somebody who's thinking about selling their house at any point?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question that she asks us is, we typically think of summer being a good time to sell, since people are moving schools, etc. Is that true in this market, was her question. But would you say that that's true just in general? Is the summer a good time to sell?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, especially this year, because inventory levels are down. So a seller has a really good opportunity if the home is priced right first time and is fairly well updated or, in really good condition. They have a really great opportunity to sell quickly if you price it right the first time.
Right.
Because we are seeing a lot more price reductions than we have in years past.
I would say that if you're watching this in November and December, don't wait to sell your house. Contact your real estate professional to understand what the numbers are in your area to make a better judgment call on whether it's a good time to sell. For instance, most people I think across the country think that the June, July, August, summer months are a good time to sell because in many parts of the country, the weather's better in those areas. And so, a lot of times parts of the country in February, March, and April, it's covered up in snow. I mean, you're from Michigan. When did the snow get off the ground?
It depends on what year it is. We've seen snow in July before, but typically you're playing golf in April.
Right. Okay. So in North Texas, as an example, we see that inventory levels are really low historically in February, March, and April. What that means is that for sellers, there's less competition. Less competition and high demand from buyers creates a bidding war effect or drives the price up. So whenever, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, as long as the inventory levels are at a good level and the buyer demand is there, it can be a good time to sell. So definitely want to track inventory levels. So the next question she asked us is, how long are properties taking to sell right now? And this is another good statistic to track. So what are average days on market and why would this be important to track for a seller?
For 2023, or at least the last couple months, we've been tracking data through the systems that we have available. And right now we're seeing an average days on market of 23 right now. Now, as far as the listing side go, our team, with the process that we have in place, we've been able to help our sellers get off the market in 5 days. Mic drop. But you have to have a plan in place, hopefully it would be with us, but whoever your trusted real estate professional is, to have a plan in place to make sure the home is staged well, the home is in good condition, and I can't emphasize this enough, that it is priced correctly for the market. Now, again, I said before, the market is a moving target. It always is, always will be. Could be different tomorrow than what it is today. But really have that cost analysis or that price analysis to see where it is and and have it match your motivation to see what price will get your home sold to get you where you need to be as soon as possible. I mean, that's one of our number one driving factors with how, we consult with our clients is, how can we help you accomplish your goals as fast as possible?
Yeah. Okay. And so you kind of led into this, that one of our other questions for us was, if the market is moving swiftly in 23 days, on average, sounds like it's a pretty swift moving market, is it still necessary to do all of the usual home prep to sell, painting, getting rid of things, etc.? And when she was interviewing us, she was talking about articles that, laundry lists of things that people need to do to get their house ready for sale. And she was asking us if that's even necessary in a swift moving market.
Yeah, I think you said it best. If you see the article, Jessica's quoted as saying it's a price war and a beauty contest all at the same time. For the homes, I'm working with a lot more buyers right now, and you can tell when you walk into a house, the ones that are going in multiple offers are the ones that have done the homework before going on the market, meaning they've done some light updates or even some major updates. They've painted rooms to make it more of a neutral color. They're decluttering or making sure that the home is staged properly.
Staging too doesn't mean, it can mean, but it doesn't have to mean spending $10,000 on staging your home.
No.
There is something for every budget out there.
Yeah.
It runs the gamut. One thing that we've been doing recently is what's called reality staging, not just virtually staging. So let's say a home is vacant and the seller maybe it has it in their budget to do reality staging. It's taking furniture that's actually available for sale. If a buyer wanted to buy that particular sofa and that particular rug and accent chair, etc., and putting those items virtually into the photo and making it available for purchase for that buyer.
Yeah. That's just one option, but when I say staging, I'm not thinking of, bringing in a moving company and, charging you an extra $10,000 for furniture items. A lot of times with staging, we're talking about using your own stuff, but maybe just orienting the furniture, moving the furniture like 90 degrees, moving the couch to a different wall or turning it a different direction. There's lots of different ways to stage at home.
Yeah. Okay, and lastly, one of the things we want to talk about that sellers might want to be watching out for are some outside factors whenever they are thinking about selling their home. So one of those outside factors, if you live in a neighborhood as an example, and let's say there's a vacant piece of land and it all of a sudden is going to be developed, maybe a commercial piece of land or something like that, and it's not a desirable thing that's going into the neighborhood, for whatever reason it might be. That might be a reason why a lot of the neighbors there want to sell their house all of a sudden, because they feel like that whatever's being developed is going to bring their property value down. Well, if a lot of people in the neighborhood at the same time decide to put their house on the market, that could affect your resale value. And so that might be something to keep an eye out eye out for?
Other outside factors, going back to the market being a moving target, the interest rates. I mean, interest rates are driving what a lot of buyer and seller activity looks like right now. So, we're always keeping track of that and keeping an eye on it.
Well, and I want to say too, with interest rates, we've had a lot of conversations with buyers recently. And so this is another reason to keep in touch with your agent, is they have an understanding of what the conversations are with buyers right now, keeping a pulse on the market too. Here's the conversation. If interest rates continue to go up, my payment's going to go up. If interest rates go down, it will cause competition, so my payments are going to go up. So why wait to buy? This is the conversation that buyers are having.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back to month supply of inventory, even though we're at higher rates, if you look at a 30 to 40 to 50 year historical average, we're really not that high. We're right around the average of what those long-term, or what history has looked like as far as rates go. With that said, we know several buyers that are in our database. We also are aware of many more that weren't able to buy when the rates were in the high 2s, low 3s, or even low 4s, when a year ago we were like, oh my gosh, what's happening? The rates are going up, and they were in the low 4s, which if you look at it now, a low 4% interest rate would be a steal if you were able to get that. But with that said, even though the rates are higher than they have been in recent years, sellers are still selling houses, buyers are still buying houses. If the rates are to go down, as you may have heard in some reports, there's no guarantee that that'll happen, but let's just say they go down into the 5s, or who knows, maybe even lower. We don't have enough inventory to support the amount of buyers that would come back into play that would be ready to buy it. What does that mean? We're still at a low amount of inventory at 2.3 months. So we're in a heavy seller's market. If we get more buyers coming into play that want to compete and are ready to purchase, with the low inventory that we have, that's just going to mean more bidding wars, if you want to call it that. Multiple offers going for higher amounts of money, which would be great for sellers. But then again, if you're the seller and you have to also purchase in this market, that's what you're going to have competition, or what you're going to be getting yourself into. So, it'd be very similar to what we had in 2020, pretty much all of 2021 and the first part of 2022. So, is now a good time to buy? Yes. Is now a good time to sell? Yes. There are options out there. That's why you have a trusted real estate advisor and team, to make sure that you have that on your side to help you make those decisions and guide you along in that process. So, as far as if the rates go down, or what the rates will do later this year, we're not quite sure. But like I said before, if they do go down, it could very well be another wild west situation for buyers.
So these are a few factors to consider whenever you're trying to decide if it's the right time to sell your house. So be on the lookout for these, and thank you for tuning in.